Hey there, I have a question for you. So, if somebody was to walk up to you and they mispronounced your name, they know you, but they mispronounced your name, or if they called you out of your name, they called you something else that was not your name given, or it wasn't your government name, how would you respond? Hey there, I'm Dr. Tam. I am your empowerment coach. And this question actually came up to me just a little while ago. So I'm out and about. I was attending a family festivity this evening, hence I'm all dolled up. But I was attending an event this evening, and as I walked into the room, there was a table of people that I've known for years, and they were kind of sitting over to the side. And one of the gentlemen said, "Oh, there is Tamika." And another lady at the table said, "No, that's Tamika." And so they all like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's how you pronounce her name. It's Tamika." So then I'm kind of working the room and I get over to their table and I'm going around and I'm hugging. And he was like, "Why you didn't ever tell nobody that your name is Tamika? We've been calling you for Tamika all these years." And I said, "I know. My name has been mispronounced my entire life until recently." And so right next to him, his wife was sitting next to him, and she was like, "Well, why you didn't, say something?" And I says, "You know what? Sometimes you have to go through some things to realize just who you really are. Sometimes you have to go through some things to realize who you really are." Now, mind you, I still have family members who call me by the name that they've always called me. Call me by the name that I grew up with them calling me that name. But that is not the correct pronunciation of my name. And so I was thinking about that, and I got to wondering, I wonder how many of us are out there. How many of you allow other people to call you something that you are not? It could be a simple mispronunciation of your name, or it can be just flat out disrespect and calling you out of your name, calling you any and everything but a child of God. For me, that was, those things were allowed because I didn't know who I was. I had to go through an experiences before I was able to get to a place where now I can say, I know who I am. And so it's very simple for me now. If I meet someone, especially if I meet someone new, I will introduce myself either as Dr. Tam or, "Hey, I'm Tamika," because that is the correct pronunciation of my name. I remember years ago in an interview, my name was mispronounced immediately after I had already introduced myself as Tamika, had given them the correct pronunciation of my name. Now, in this particular interview, these are people that I've kind of known of for years, had worked in this district for years, and my name was still mispronounced. I politely corrected the pronunciation of my name and was later told I shouldn't have done that. I have not gone through the experiences. You have not gone through experiences that you have gone through to remain who you were back then. If you did, then everything that you've gone through was in vain. It was for nothing. And I want to share with you today, there is not a tear that has ever been shed, that you have ever shed, that has been wasted. Every tear has been caught. The Word of God actually tells us that He collects every tear in a bottle, and our names are recorded. You have not gone through those experiences for nothing. No one has the right, the authority to call you those things that you are not. So if it is not the correct pronunciation of my name, if it is not Tamika that you are calling me, you can call me a child of God. You can call me the daughter of the Most High. And the exact same thing goes for you. So sometimes you may find yourself running into old circles. You may find yourself encountering people that you knew years ago. People at one time, they thought of you this way. That's how they saw you. They saw you as this person. They called you this person. That's where they still are, right where you left them. So don't be afraid to reintroduce yourself. Every tear that you have shedded has not been wasted. Every moan, every ache, every groan, every broken crack, crevice in your heart has not been just for nothing. It's a part of a process. It's a part of a growth process. Literally, I was laying in the bed. It was probably about 3 o'clock this morning. And I rolled over and I grabbed my phone and I recorded a note in my phone because for some reason, this one experience in particular that I had gone through, and you may remember me, I've shared it before, that in 2020, my then fiance actually canceled our wedding, canceled the relationship. And so at that time, because of all the feelings, the label that I gave all those feelings at that time was rejection. That is what that felt like to me. This morning, that came to mind. This was over 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago now. But the thought came to mind this morning. So when I rolled over, I grabbed my phone and I recorded a note. And that note was that what I thought was rejection was actually conception. Because it was in that moment, that season of time in my life where I felt like I was being rejected, that was really conception. All of those feelings coming together. It did not feel like it. It does not feel like it for you right now. You're in a place right now where your heart has been broken. It may have been last week that something happened. It may have been last month. It may have been years ago, like it was in my case. That this one thing that happened and you thought it left you flat, broken, in pieces. You felt damaged, destroyed, no good, worthless. Nobody's going to want me now. Look at me. I'm a mess. I'm older. Things aren't as perky as they used to be. I've gone through some things. Nobody's going to want me now. I'm damaged. I'm no good. It is in those seasons. It's when you are in pieces. When you feel like you are in pieces, just shattered across the floor. That is actually a moment of conception. That is the beginning of a rebirth process. I've shared with you before. We have the power and the authority to redefine our own experiences. Don't let somebody else write your narrative. You don't even write your own narrative if you're not telling yourself the truth. Because the truth of the matter is, yes, you may have been damaged in that season, but you were not destroyed. You are still standing. You are right here, right now, watching this video. You are still here. You are in a season of conception. It is a rebirth. It is the beginning of a process. And though I don't have natural children of my own, I know that when when a woman is pregnant, that process, going through that growth inside of her, new life is growing. New life is growing inside of you. You have the power. You are the only one that has the power. The power is inside of you to shift your perspective. You're not broken. You have not been destroyed. You are still here. Does it hurt? Absolutely. Do you feel like you can't get up? Absolutely. Do you feel like you can't go on beyond this? Absolutely. But in that stretching, in that growing, just like when a woman is carrying a child, and over time you see like her little belly bumps gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And not only that, you start seeing skin stretching. So that right there, that's your evidence of some growth. I got a few of those myself. I got a few of those from the stretching. Okay? There are areas that have stretched over time. It was conception, not rejection. It was the very beginning of a rebirth, of a process of you becoming who God intended, created for you to be. You have the power, you have the authority to change your perspective, to see the truth of it. Through all the tears, through all the heartache, through all the pain, through all of that, on the other side of that is the truth. And the truth is, you are now discovering who you truly are, because it is in that season where you figure out just how strong you are. You can no longer call me weak. You can no longer call me scared and afraid. Oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. Psh. Girl, you just talking. Y'all know how some people are. You can no longer tell you that because you've been through some things already. And you're now standing on this side. So what you have gone through has only strengthened you. What you have gone through has taught you how to be more resilient. What you have gone through has taught you how to bounce back, how to get back up. Oh, you will get knocked down. Absolutely. We're human. You will get knocked down, but your bounce back is a whole lot better now than what it used to be. You ain't staying down for no months at a time. Give yourself a few hours and you back up. That's resilience. That's your bounce back. That's your strength. That's your courage. Courage does not mean that you have no fear at all. Even if there is an ounce of fear within you, you still getting up and you still going after it. You are still doing it. So you can no longer label me scared and afraid. You can no longer call me out of my name. Allow me to reintroduce myself to you. Never be afraid to tell people who you truly are. After you have discovered her, never be afraid, ashamed, embarrassed to tell people who you truly are. Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Tam. I'm your empowerment coach, and I really hope that this word blesses you today. You only are as God has created you to be. That's it. Nobody else, nobody can call you out of your name, because the truth is what he has said, who you are. You are chosen. You are selected. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are a special possession. You are his masterpiece, his workmanship. You are precious. You are honored. You are loved. That is who you are, because that is what his word, that is what he calls you, how he sees you according to his word. You get your power back. You get your voice back. And if you have to, 10 times over, every single time your name is mispronounced, every single time you are called out of your name, every single time you are called anything other than what he has already said, who you are, make that correction. Excuse me. Allow me to reintroduce myself to you. Hey, y'all. I'm Dr. Tam. I hope this blesses you today. Take care.